Today is Tech Tuesday, my favorite day of the week, because we get to talk about tech. So what we're going to talk about is these bad boys, the Sony WF-1000XM3. I already did a video on the Sony WF-1000 so go ahead and check that out. But in that video, I brought up the fact that the Sony WF-5 will be coming out sometime, and they just dropped a couple weeks ago. I have zero intention of buying those 5s because the 4s are just so great. But if I could do it again, I wouldn't have picked these up because these are so fantastic, and that's what we're going to talk about today. I've had these for in about a month. I'll have these for 3 years, and they're just so good, except for a few things. So now, just like always, I never talk about the technical specifications. You can go check out them on a bunch of different reviews and go onto the website if you want to get into the nitty-gritty. But I go off a feel, and these sound just as good as these. They really do. And I would suppose that the 5s, I don't have them, would just sound as good as the 4s. So just tiny little steps up. But as you can see, there's a big difference, and that big difference is this case. This case sucks. Now, it's not horrible, like the little dingly-ding. The little dingly-ding is nice. Like they don't fall out. Like it's a good case. It's just big. I wish I had some Apple earphones, whatever they're called, to go ahead and compare the size because they're smaller than these are. But as you can see, this is a little thicker actually, but these things are big. When you have them in your pocket, it's a little annoying comparatively. As far as sounds goes, this is great. I've worn them on airplanes. It cuts out the sound with the noise canceling. One of the biggest things comparatively from this to the 5th one that just dropped, that the battery isn't as good, but it's practically the same. So you have 6 hours of noise canceling sound with these on a full charge, and with the 5s, you have 8 hours of noise canceling. So you get 2 more hours with that newer technology. They're gonna sound a little better because they have an 8mm drive versus a 6mm drive. And they have a nice case. I don't think they personally look nicer than these, and we'll get into the actual like physical quality of this here in a second. But in my opinion, they don't look as nice. They kind of look cheaper than the 4s do. They just have that weird shine to them that I just don't want out of my headphones. I'm sorry. This isn't 2004. I don't want the shine. I love the matte finish. And also, again, we'll get into this in a second, but these are just way better to use. I like the look out of them. They sound great. The noise canceling is amazing. Now, they're missing on a couple of things. They're missing out on a smaller case. It has USB-C. Talking about the case, right? This is all it is, just USB-C. You're missing out on wireless charging, which comes in handy if you like that, but I never charge anything wirelessly because, again, USB-Cs are just so useful. So you're missing out on that. And I would say the biggest thing you're missing out on is the waterproofing or the water resistance, because this doesn't have any, right? It does have some, just like every device has some, but it doesn't have any rating for it. So you have a smaller drive, which is gonna be worse sound. You have a bigger case. You have a slightly worse battery rating, and you don't have waterproofing. Now, is that a big deal? It may be for you, but these are like $50 used on eBay, and they are not 6 times worse than the 5s. Like I cannot recommend you getting these over these pretty much for everybody, and especially the 5s. Like these are just so dang good. I use them interchangeably. Like I don't care which one is charged. I just grab whichever one is mostly charged. I'm like, okay, here, usually have one over somewhere else and this one over there, and whatever I see when I'm leaving the house, I'll just grab because they're interchangeable to me. Interchangeable because the use case is the same. I want good sound, I want noise canceling, and I want them in a smallish design. Check, check, check. These have Bluetooth 5. They're fantastic. The same meter rating from like the distance from your phone that you can have. Like the biggest thing you're probably getting from this is buy these. Like, you don't need to get the 4s, you don't need to get the 5s, get the 3s is my biggest thing. Now let's get into the actual device itself, because I'm just gonna keep rambling forever. All right, my case, I've had it for 3 years, so it's a little beat up. It's not that beautiful. I went ahead and cleaned it for y'all. Now, they open up, looking pretty snazzy over here. Right, left, I need to charge these. Now, they do have the proximity sensor right there. Again, these are clean, but a little old, so a little grimy. This is how they charge these little 3s. They have this little blinking light, and you charge them by putting them in here. That's, boom, now they're charging. Again, you charge this case by USB-C. If we get the 4s out here, no, I don't know how gross these are gonna look. This case doesn't open as wide as this, like, oop, that goes 90 degrees. Oof, this camera can actually just stay in focus, golly. 90 degrees versus whatever that is, like 110. So yeah, I love the look of these. They look so much better than the 5s. I'll go ahead and put the 5s on. Like, they just don't look as good. These are beautiful though. They sit in the ear a little bit differently. I'll go ahead and put that up. But 3s are so nice if they just stay open, God. I'm like at an angle, so that's kind of forcing down. All right, so the one thing that I love about the 3s over the 4s is that it's not the whole surface that's a touchpad. It's just this little circle. Ooh. This whole thing is the touchpad, which you're like, oh, that's bigger, but it's the whole thing, which is annoying. Here, you know, this is where I tap to play, this is where I go, not the whole thing. So I don't know, it's not a big deal. It really truly isn't, but I do love it. One of my biggest gripes is this: when you double tap, sometimes it doesn't read it. This never lets me down. I love these 3s so absolutely. Again, if I were to go buy one, then I'd probably buy the 4s just because of the smaller case, and they do sound pretty equivalently the same. Like, if you're gonna go buy them, buy the 4s because the 4s have some water protection. They're a smaller case, but they're basically the same price. These 3s are just so good. And again, I wouldn't buy the 4s today. If I had the 3s, I would not upgrade. Like, unless these are failing you, don't upgrade. Like, these sound so great. Again, I wouldn't get the 5s either because these 3s just do such a great job. Hello, my name is Mike. Hello. Oh, it's kind of cute, like a little eyeballs and a little mouth. Now I'm hidden. Hello. Hello. But yeah, there's not much to this case. It's a case, and it opens and it closes, and you charge them, and it's beautiful. So I put the camera down funky, so I'm not gonna change it. Bottom line is, buy them. They're great. If you're thinking about them, you can pick them up for like $50 off eBay. The one thing that I would say that I would do immediately is go ahead and, just personal opinion, I put a little foam earpiece on here. These actually came with them in the box, so I didn't have to buy them separately. But these only come with like the traditional ones and like the skinny ones. But I like the foam ones, so if you're like me, go pick up some foam little like insert things. But they're so great. I don't really know what I was trying to accomplish with this video other than telling you, buy these. They're so fantastic. They sound so good. They sound so great. Not like, they're not audiophile like quality, right? Like you gotta like lower your expectations, right? So if you're used to $5,000 earphones, these might not sound great to you. But if you're coming from anywhere, like of the $10 to $100 variety, if you're coming from the Apple earbuds, like the fucking like AirPods, these are gonna blast your fucking socks off. Like, you don't know what you're talking about until you listen to one of these. Like, I am a Sony fanboy, and this is a completely biased take, but there's a reason why I am, and it's because of their just track record of being amazing. Like, I just own Sonys. I don't own many other things because Sonys appeal to me so much because they're so fantastic. Like, what do you want? What do you want out of an earphone? You want to make sure both earphones connect through Bluetooth, so you don't have to have both charged because you can just use one in one ear and one in the other ear, like back and forth. You can do that because it connects. You want noise canceling that is like the top level. Like, these were the best when they came out, and they're still pretty fucking fantastic. All right, TED Talk over. Go buy them. I love you. Come back next week. Come back tomorrow for a Wacky Wednesday. And yeah, love you guys. Peace.